Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of CKC Invitational. I'm your host, FIDE Master Kelvin Klaassen. And this day is going to be super exciting with 2 semi-final matches. The guys have worked hard to get here, and we've got a sizzling matchup coming. And I think, personally, I've been waiting for this matchup with high anticipation. And let's see who is playing. International Master Henry Steele. Who did he play to get here? He played FIDE Master Paul Gluckman. They had a tough encounter. And then Henry will be facing FIDE Master, current SA champion Daniel Barrish. And Daniel also had a tough match there against Shaun Kleinsmith in our first quarterfinal match of this tournament. So let's see if we can get our co-commentator on the line. We've got a special guest all the way from Johannesburg. He's a previous under-20 SA national champion, one of my personal close friends. Let's see who this is. Dimitar Ristovic, welcome.
Hey Kelvin, thanks for having me.
So, what do you think, Dimitar? Have you watched any of this before? What do you think about the upcoming match? What do you think?
Quite excited, hey? Slight generational battle that we're having. Looking forward to it. I have seen some of the games so far. Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Thanks, Dimitar. Let's quickly take a look at the players' profiles. If you haven't seen it early on in the matches that they played, let's go to Henry's profile. So, I Am Steele is the top seed in the event, and as a 2-time SA close champion, he's definitely one of the big guns here. Winning the SA close at the age of 17, he has gone on to beat GM Luke McShane from England and also GM Carter Kamsky. So that's quite a nice short resume there. Let's get on to FM Barrish, Daniel, freshly crowned SA close champ. He definitely put himself on the map there with this victory in December. Daniel has shown a sharp rise in the past 2 years and shows no signs of slowing down. Alright, so Dimitar, I think we can introduce the players right now. Let's get the players over here. So welcome Henry and welcome Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Alright, let's see. I think today I'll start with Daniel over here. Daniel, how are you feeling after that tight match with Shaun? It seemed like you were cruising at some point and then you had to recheck your strategy over there. Are you feeling good for this match? Have you re-looked at some of your own strategies?
I'm just gonna play faster basically. I was far too slow in the previous one.
Okay,
so... Got it blitz basically.
Yes, so you need to turn it up, you say. Alright, that's good. And Henry, any thoughts on this match? That you have to do anything different, or are you quite happy with your run thus far?
I think today will be a tougher match. I'm just hoping to play some good chess and not blunder too much. Yeah.
I think that's the key actually for any chess player, to just try to play good chess. Sometimes we get but distracted by other things, so that's a good outlook by Henry. Dimitar, do you have any viewpoints, or what do you think? What's going to happen in this match? I don't know. I want to ask a full prediction, but what do you think? How is this match gonna look?
I'm expecting a good match, a nice and close, competitive games, good quality, some good calculation. I'm looking forward to seeing it. To be honest, I don't know which way it'll go. Looking forward to finding out. All
right, cool. All right, so guys, let's quickly just look at the two guys in the ring. That will be the two, and we're gonna update the scores soon. Let's get to our arena, and from the two players, you guys can get to your chessboard. You can exit our Zoom call. Dimitar, I just need to add you quickly over here. So just a moment from the players. Just give us one short moment. Okay, let's get the players on the video call. Let me just phone. I'll start off with Daniel. Tamita, I'm gonna get you on the stream pretty soon. Okay, Daniel, let's just add Henry. Okay, Henry. Okay, right. So just guys, just give me one small moment here. I just need to get the meter also on track over here.
Okay.
Okay, we're almost good, guys. Okay, so now that we got the meter back, all right, guys, are you ready for action? Okay, so just Daniel, don't forget to mute your mic, and as soon as you muted your mic, you can get going. So good luck, and let's get going. All right, Demeter, you back with us?
Yep.
And
Ready.
there we off. So just to tell the players right now, the Henry is called Moonlight. His handle name is Moonlight on Lead Chess, and he started with the white pieces right now. And Daniel also using the same name as earlier in the tournament, Divine Intervener. So we're starting off with a looks like it's gonna be a 4 knights. Yes, a
Yeah,
four
four
knights
knights. Nice and old.
with Bishop B5, keeping it ancient. So,
Yeah.
but I've seen Sahaj Grover also whip out these 4 knights, I think, with Bishop B5 and utilizing it very nicely. So I think there's a lot of uh, things happening in this line. I think there's a famous game between. I don't know who Botvinnik was playing, but Botvinnik had a famous game in this line where he kind of retracted both his bishops from b5 all the way back, bishop on g5 back to c1. I think this is
Yeah.
the line, yes, where white has the bishop pair. But okay, let's see
Yeah.
what's happening. Tim?
100%. Yeah. From it's also amazing with the developments of technology, how computers are breathing life into these old lines. New
Yes,
ideas.
yes. I mean, some lines. It's like the in the Scotch. A lot of people stopped playing the Scotch, and then Gary Kasparov came in and injected life
Yeah.
into it. So
Yeah.
certain lines that are refuted, the engine can suddenly bring to life again. So yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so what's happening here? Black is swinging over to the king side, a typical maneuver with knight e7 and knight g6. And that bishop on b5, what's the plan, Dum? What do you think? The bishop's probably going back to f1 or what?
Yeah. I'd let it hang for a moment. But yeah, F1 was the natural instinct to me. Let's see. Because you've got the bishop pair. Time always favors the bishops. You don't want to rush and do anything committal.
Yes,
Um,
interesting decision here by White, though, capturing, and he's got these double isolated pawns on c2 and c3. So his pawn structure slightly compromised, but of course he's got the compensation of the bishop pair. So interesting
100%.
decision there. And yeah, we already have a few people in the chat, Demeter. And
Mhm.
yeah, the match has just started. If you just tuned in, it's the first game of 10-10 each, no increment. And one of the, I'm not going to reveal yet who, I don't know if you're checking the chat, Demeter, but one of the viewers are asking, "Hi, Dem, have you got beauty on? You look younger."
You, thank you. It's just a life with chess. Not too much stress at the moment in the
Okay.
lockdown.
Okay. It makes sense. I need to get a bit more of that, I think.
Yeah.
So just to also mention, like I said, it's the first game of the two rapids, the 10-10 with no increment. And it seems like this phase or this start of the game is extremely important for the players because with the two rapid games, each game counting 2 points in the rapid phase. So we've seen in the previous matches that if you can score in the rapid phase, then you can get a big lead in the start. I mean, a 2-0 in the rapid phase would already give you a 4-point lead, and then the games actually start with 1 point each for a win. So very important stage of the game. I think preparation is very important in the rapid stage. In the blitz phase, I mean, you can get a good opening unless you're going to knock your opponent out in the opening. I think you can just be familiar with your setups and just get into the game. But this rapid, I think the players must have done a bit of prep.
I'd
So,
imagine
yeah.
so, hey? Sure.
And
Because,
yeah.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, so for instance, we can see that Daniel's spending some time on this position, you know,
Yeah,
and
the
it's,
rook is in trouble.
yeah. So what do you think we're going to see here?
Looks like
Maybe
is Daniel losing an exchange already?
it looks like it,
He can't go
unless,
to e8. Taking the queen
no,
doesn't really help because white will just improve his rook and the rook is still stuck. Pawn to c6,
yeah,
interesting. So now if bishop takes a rook,
yeah,
he
queen
has to take
takes,
back. So Daniel is down in exchange. He's got
mm,
something at least with the pawn structure of white being compromised, but he's a full exchange down very early on. So something went wrong. So I guess that's the whole point behind Henry capturing on e5. It looked a bit anti-positional with the pawn structure, but going for direct play there, nipping the rook on f8. So it's up to Daniel
yeah,
now to prove what to do here. What do you think? Maybe bishop g4?
I think so, yeah. Nice thing is with the shorter time controls, the, like, let's say, differences in like material aren't as important as like a long game because time and complicated positions give you a chance, you know.
Yeah,
So I think we still have a game, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that is quite another good point that you're bringing across there, Damita. Because I mean, if this was a long game, I think
yeah,
you wouldn't have spent too much time on it, checking it out. But because it's such little time, it seems like Divine Intervener is offline. What's happening here? Seems like
I think so.
Daniel has disconnected. So there must be something wrong here because I've also lost him on the WhatsApp feed. So
Mm.
let's hope that he gets back.
Yeah,
I don't want to call. There he's back. He's back.
okay.
Okay, so he's online. So a bit of a scare there, Daniel, being an exchange down and dropping some time on the clock just for the technical side. If a player disconnects, his time just runs, um, and that's about it. So yeah, if it happens for too long, then we're gonna have to decide what to do. But luckily, Daniel is back.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you think about the position? What's happening?
Yeah. So looks like Black has managed to develop his position. Looks quite nice, barring the missing rook. It was captured by the bishop. Uh, not too many weaknesses, but not so easy to progress as well.
Do you think Daniel can? I think Daniel at least. I think he can still make a. I think there's still a game actually
Yeah,
because of the pawn structure and like you said the time factor. White still needs to figure out a way how
yeah,
to just handle this pawn structure weaknesses, and there's no obvious problem in the black position. So okay, it's a bit of an unbalanced situation, but
yeah. Well, generally speaking, right, you'd rather be down an exchange than a pawn, obviously,
yeah,
depending on the position.
yes. Daniel disconnected again here on Leeches, it seems. I hope this does not continue. So White has just played pawn to g3. Is it just purely to keep the knight out?
I think so. Also, there was something I learned watching a Karpov video a couple of years back, and what he said is whenever there's a knight on a square like g6, b6, g3, or b3, pushing the pawn on the same file up one square like really limits the movement of the knight. So if you're looking in this position, the pawn on g3 is depriving the knight on g6 of the f4 and h4 squares. So I
Okay.
think it's
Can I just cut you off for 1 second here? Let me just contact Barrish here because things are getting a bit concerning here. So Henry, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm just gonna try to call Daniel quickly and find out what's happening. Yeah, I'm just adding him to our call. Demeter, your Zoom call is muted.
okay.
There we go.
All right.
So we're having some problem with Barrish right now. He's disconnected on leeches. His time is running. Not sure what the issue is there.
Any luck getting a hold of him?
No, it's just ringing, so there must be some issues with Daniel. Let's hope he can sort it out soon.
Yeah, the first time he disconnected and he told me he thought he disconnected and then he made a move. And now he disconnected again.
Yeah, and he's not even responding on WhatsApp, so there must be a technical issue. Let's hope he gets back soon.
Mhm.
Thank you, the Yonk, for following. Thank you, the Yonk, for following. Welcome. So Henry, I'm just gonna end the call here. Okay, let me actually. I don't need to end the call with you. Let me just try and phone Daniel again. Or you know what? I think maybe he has some internet problems. So I'm gonna end this call with you quickly, and I'm gonna phone Daniel normally. So I'll phone you just back. All right.
All right.
Okay, let's get
Sorry for
Daniel
that.
on the line here. Hi Daniel, what's happening?
I think some ISP error. I don't know what is going on. There's like a big red light on my router, and I've got no idea what is doing it. I'm going to resign the first game. The first game's obviously lost anyway, but if you could wait for the second, the second one at least, I want to try and get back on.
All right.
I don't know what's on there. I'm so sorry.
All right, there's no problem. So you try to sort it out as soon as possible. Just keep us up to date here, and we'll be waiting for you. Okay, just keep us up to date. All right, thanks.
Sorry, Calvin.
All right, no problem. Okay, let's just get Henry back online. So Barry says that he has some problem there with his router, and he's trying to sort it out. So let's give him some time to try and sort that out. But unfortunately, he will be losing the first game. Where is Henry now? Let's get Henry on the line. Okay, so I guess we can take a quick look at the first game. If Daniel is taking his time, let's just let Henry know. Hi, Henry. Daniel is saying that he's got some issue with his router. He's trying to sort it out. So he said he's already resigning the first game. So let's just allow him some time to try and sort it out. So, all right. So I am going to I don't know if you want to stay on the line so long, but I'm just gonna discuss the first game so long with Demeter, with the viewers. Just go through the game, and I think I'm gonna mute myself, or we can end the call, and as soon as Daniel is ready, then I can phone you back as well. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks, Henry. Okay, so we're having some technical problems here with Daniel. Let's hope he sorts it out. This is definitely not a match that we want to miss. So, Demeter, I think let us take a look at the game thus far. Let's just dissect this short game. And e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. And I've seen. You know what? Maybe we should go to the analysis board. Okay, now let's leave the analysis board for now. But I've seen Henry also whip out the Scotch, and after knight takes and knight f6, play knight c3 with the two knights as well. So that I almost thought he's gonna go d4 over there, and just going to two knights. I remember Henry playing quite a nice game. I don't know if it was the last Olympiad that he played in, where he had a brilliant game in the Scotch as well. We had a lot of pawns hanging against another IM, I think, and he just completely crushed him. Not that the IM was playing weak. That's what I like about that game. So yeah. And then Barrish, on the other hand, Barrish, I think Barrish's main weapon is the Sicilian Khan, but he's been entering these E5 openings. I think I saw him start to play this opening for a while now. He actually used the E5 at the SA closed, winning it. In fact, the last round he still played, I think it was FM Mat Pon, and he had the black pieces against Pon, and he also played against E4. He played E5. So Barrish has been using E5 in some important games. So it's interesting how he's incorporated E5 after the Sicilian, so to speak. Let's just read here what the viewers are saying. Yeah, the Yonk. I got an idea. Is that maybe who I think it is? Dem, the Yonk.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Matt?
Matthew Jonker.
If it's Matthew, welcome to the show. Lolda, thank you very much. We try our best here to make it look good. So thanks. Justin Chess. Interesting. Does that count as a resignation? Yeah, verbal resignation in an online game. Yes, of course. I mean, his time is running out in any event. We've got some more questions here, Demeter. The people are curious about you as well. Yeah, Milky Shake asks, Demeter, what year did you win the under 20s? Was it perhaps last year? Were you 19 last year?
2007, sure.
Okay,
So,
okay. We're going back
yeah.
a distance, but yeah, the meter has been around the block in the chess scene. So let's just get the meter back because of this joint call on Zoom. He kicked out, but let's get the meter back. So yeah, a bit of a tough one for Daniel over there. Let's just hope Henry's also a bit patient. Let's just add the meter again. This time it will be for good. Okay, let's see. I can send the meter the number as well. It seems like my mail is slightly delayed over there. Okay, let's send in the password. All right. So let's just check if we've got any feedback from the players. Okay, so Daniel says, let's try again. Let's see if we can get Daniel on the line. Welcome to Dolph. Dolph is following, and welcome to the stream, Dolph. We just had some technical problems here with Daniel Barrish, and let's see if we can get both players going again. I'm phoning Daniel.
It's fixed now. I'm so sorry about that.
No problem, Daniel. Don't stress. So let's. Are you guys back at the board?
I just trying to double check now. 1 second.
Let me just add Henry to the call as well. So, do you have any idea what the problem was?
There's some ISP here. There's like a red, like a light.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
usually some sort of like ISP verification error. I don't know what's caused it. It just sometimes happens. I have no idea why.
Okay. No worries.
Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm actually also getting the meter back online here. So let's just get to the ring over here. Let's do this. Okay, we're almost getting the meter back as well. Seems like everybody abandoned me except Henry for now. No, don't feel bad. It's not your fault, Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also trying to get Henry back.
Henry accepted the challenge now. Get the board.
Okay, Demeter, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Kelvin. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. So now I just need to add you back into the studio. Let's just check if everything is okay. Seems like we're good. The players seem to be back as well. So
Okay.
now we're just waiting for Henry to pick up his WhatsApp call. Hey, Henry. Right, it seems like Daniel is back online and good to go. So on the technical side, so that equates to a loss for Daniel. Unfortunately, Daniel. So now, are both of you good to go again?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So whenever you're ready, mute your audio on WhatsApp, and then we can go. Good luck, guys. Demeter, your Zoom is muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I had an angry chihuahua here. I'll put
Okay. All right.
on the camera for the fans here.
All right, guys. So, bit of a there we go, Chihuahua. So we bit of a rough start here on the technical side from Daniel. We got the meter back now as well. So off to the second rapid game. So Daniel lost the first rapid. That means there's 2 points down. And now Henry is playing with the black pieces. And Daniel is playing with the white pieces. No increment, guys.
Sorry, just give me a second, please, Calvin, to sort out this dog.
All right, sure, no problem. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see. Okay, I've seen something similar here. It actually reminds me of a game I had against Ryan van Rensburg in some SA closed. Where the rook on A, it was also hanging. I unfortunately lost that game, but it seems like these guys know their stuff. Yeah, slightly different from what myself and Ryan was playing. King F2 unpinning. Thinking, not worried about castling, just King F2. Rook on H1 will probably swing in the game soon. Black's pawn structure is slightly problematic over here. There's lots of pressure down here. So I like white structure.
Something to note, it looks like Henry's enjoying the bishops so far in what we've seen.
Interesting to point out. Thanks. So the bishop pair being Henry's in both games thus far. And also the pawn structure not on his favor as well. In the previous game, his pawn structure was compromised and he had the bishop pair. And here also his pawn structure is slightly weakened. So the bishop pair Henry is saying if you've got the bishop here, then you can kind of compromise your pawn structure. That's basically what he's saying. So in chess, usually you have different elements to it, and you should try to balance it out, so to speak. So if you're lacking in one element, then you should try to be stronger on another side. I think my laptop is also running slightly out of energy here, Let me just plug myself in.
All right. So far, it looks like quite an interesting position with, some little tactics floating in here and there.
Bishop b6, hinting at c4 check, maybe knight d3. Knight will be knocking some stuff.
100%. And that knight d3 check idea is obviously why it's not a good idea to take on d7.
Yes,
sure everyone saw that one though.
Should white maybe just play king g1, or what should white do here?
I think
is knight a4 possible?
I think that's a good idea. Maybe. Also, maybe trying to get that is your idea behind king g1. Maybe trying to bring the knight into the game via f2 or something.
Yes, that, and simply just playing king h1 after the check comes, just to get out of trouble with your king. I mean, these two bishops have got a lot of potential of hindering the king. I mean, so perhaps something like that. Knight a4. Is knight a4 possible? Just trying to snap off that bishop on b6.
Yeah, it's causing problems. I like that.
The knight, of course, the black knight can't land on d6 yet, because white has the rook and queen covering it. So it's white to play. Daniel is taking a bit of time here. I think it is a sensitive moment where white has got a better structure. He just needs to keep the dynamics at bay. And if white had enough time, if white in this position could play king g1, king h1, and let's say knight f2 and get his worst piece into the game, he would be looking quite good. Black has this threat of, whoa, king to g3. Wow. Okay, so
okay, definitely didn't see that one coming.
Sure. Okay, king to g3. So white saying that the king is safe on g3. There's not a lot of pieces that black can. All of black's pieces, the bishops and the knight, are all on the queen side. So why not just hide the king on the king side? So there's no king queen g5 check. There's no queen h4 for the moment. There's no pieces that can get there, except for maybe f5 in the distant future. But I don't see how black can get to the king right now, eh?
No, and now suddenly that pawn on d7 is hanging. It's not quite easy to see a good move for black here, unless maybe being aggressive with some ideas of perhaps knight c2 with knight d4, something to that effect.
Yes, maybe just get a strong knight on the d4 square. I must admit, I kinda like the idea. I liked white's position, but I don't know if king g1 and king h1 was perhaps a safe idea. And then playing rook e8, perhaps introducing a piece to the king side. Rook e6 a possibility, and rook g6 check. That could be a dangerous one. And then he's still not interested in defending the d7 pawn. What's happening here? Can white munch on that pawn? If queen takes d7, probably queen f6 perhaps?
I think so. I think that might help black. Rooks get connected, maybe some tempos to come on the queen. So quite definitely an interesting game. Not sure about the white's king position on g3, whether that's going to turn out to be an asset or
because it seems like white is going to have to either get a knight out of the way with knight f2 and maybe h3 and then hide his king. It's taking a lot more moves than the simple king g1 and king h1. Maybe there was something with c4 check that I missed, but it does seem that it could end up being a problem if white is not careful about this. I mean, let's imagine it was black's move rook to e6 and then a rook g6 check. It's already an awkward situation. Knight g5 is not possible because of h6, and the king doesn't want to step back to f2. So white has something to think about, and he's taking a bit of time.
Maybe your original idea of knight a4, but still rook e6, the tempo, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I like
Because
it.
at
I think
least,
rook e8 was good, eh?
yeah, definitely.
So let's try to guess here. The meter. What would you play? White to play.
It's not so easy. So we know what we're trying to fix. We want to get slightly better coordination of our pieces. We know rook e6 is a little bit of a threat.
I got an idea. It might seem super slow, but maybe knight g1. Ah, but there's no time for it. Rook e6 is with tempo. I was thinking about knight g1
yeah.
and h3 as well. Ah, it's very tough. Queen takes d7 and queen f6 on the board without hesitation.
Mm. Sure. Maybe rook d6 now for white. Um,
Rook to d6.
mm.
And what can black reply to that? That looks like
Maybe
a
rook.
nice move.
Yeah, maybe rook e6 or something will have to come because
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know unless he wants to come back queen
There
to d8 or
you
e7.
spotted it, them. You spotted it. So now rook e6.
Mm.
I think black doesn't want to exchange pieces. I mean, but what
Yeah,
else? I don't think he has a choice here.
yeah. Suddenly that d5 square looks like it's going to become important in a few moves. Something like ideas are coming up after this is solved of like a3 knight d5 could cause black some headaches.
Hmm. Okay, this is turning
But
out to be a nice one now. It's a pity that Daniel had to disconnect on the first one. Okay, even though he said himself he was already in a tough position over there, but it would have been
yeah,
interesting to see if he could manage to get something out of it. Um, so we've got some suggestions here by the chat. People in the
yeah.
chat. There's okay, queen f4. I don't think that's a reasonable way. What followed up by rook d8 perhaps, and then there's another suggestion. But bishop c8. No, bishop c8. Then the rook is unprotected, and that would be
Mm,
mate in one, just in chess. There's another suggestion: rook d8 or rook a d8.
yeah,
Okay, so rook e6 got played, and I say just chop it off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, these guys
Pawn
have got
structure.
time. It's not 3 minute game, so I guess Daniel can take his time here. Daniel needs to get something out of this game, as mentioned before. Um, he doesn't want to go 2-0 down in the rapid and all of a sudden be 4 points down. So this is a
Yeah,
crucial
yeah.
one for him. He's down on the clock as well. He doubles up instead. I'm not sure if he was worried about the rook takes and then pawn takes and then black having opened up the f file swing across with the rook f8. Perhaps that was something he
I
looked
think
at.
I think also taking now if you capture it back with the pawn and the f file opening as you mentioned, also that d5 square
Is taken
can't
away from
really.
him. Aha.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe he starts thinking about utilizing the d5 square in the near future.
sure. What are you thinking in this
Rook a
position?
d8. Rook a d8. There's no
Rook
rook a
a
d8.
d8,
Okay, I think that
queen
was a
take.
I think that was a maybe a suggestion for the previous one, eh? For the previous move, not now.
Yeah,
Rook to d8 now would falter Demeter. Why?
I would think we've got some back rank problems. So the
Yes,
queen
so
captures
queen
d8.
takes, and then
Yeah,
everything would hang over there, and you would get mated. So that's the reason why black also plays h6. There's some relief for the back rank. Maybe even g5 is a possibility. Black needs to cook up something. He's a pawn down. His structure is worse on the queen side. So
yeah,
Henry a bit under pressure. I think I like what Barrish has done with all of his pieces. Except for the knight on h3 right now, and the king on g3 seems like a general that wants to be in the front line as well.
yeah. Leading by example.
Aha.
If you put this king on h1, I think white's got truly a remarkable position.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So I think white has just one enemy right now. I think and that's time or tempo in this game. If you could just have a few tempo to get his king safe and maybe his knight into the game, I think he's quite happy. Um, so finally the
yeah.
exchange on e6. What next? Is e5 a possibility?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
e5
That
with knight
knight has a
e4.
nice part.
You would be
Yeah.
cutting out your own bishop a bit. What else besides e5?
I think maybe knight f2 or something, trying to. But that takes the square away from the king. But maybe.
Is rook d8 a threat? Seems like
I
rook
think it
d8
may
was a
well.
threat. That's why bishop c7 as well. Trying to get rid of the bishop on b6 so that the white king can also safely go back to f2 if needed. So Barrish needs to watch the clock now. He's on 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Henry on 5 minutes and 12 and about to get to 12 seconds. So
Calvin, in this situation, if you had a tournament game like this and you were in Henry's position where you had slightly more time, would you invest that time, or would you try to find a quick move to keep the clock pressure on your opponent?
well, I think okay, that's a good question. I think it depends on the if there's an increment or not. I think if there's no increment, I'll try to get it on. I mean, I would recognize if I recognize that I'm worse, and I'll try to get it on and keep things complicated. And I think this is what Henry is doing now. If there is increment, then I would obviously take a bit more time to get some quality into it, because with increment, your opponent can easily catch up if he is behind on time. And yeah, so I guess if I was Henry in this situation, I would keep it going, yeah, because Daniel is really under pressure on the clock now. We've got some more things in the chat here. Calvin and Demeter, if you guys were to participate in this event, how would you guys have prepared? Let's see. Demeter, you can go first. CPT Hakia. Yo, Calvin. Yo, Dem. Hi, CPT Hakia. Welcome to the stream.
Hey. Corner. Hey, how you doing?
He's asking Dem, how's the Lone Hill prep?
It's all good. Thank him for asking. How is he? I'm curious to find out how a lot of the chess coaches are doing with the lockdown. Is it hindering business, or is it just is chess well placed because of technology?
That's a good question. White decides to capture on d3 here. By the way, Lalder says mating attack, and Mosaic says rook takes d3. There, rook takes d3 is on the board. And just to answer Milky Shake Shake, if I were to have prepared for this event, I would try to play 1,000 online games, because these guys look so fit. First of all, I would try to get in a lot of hours of play in. I would also just have to get my openings in shape here. It seems like all of these guys know their openings. Like I mentioned earlier, I would emphasize my opening idea. I try to get my opening ideas in the rapid portion. And I think practicing a lot online, it is different to real games. So you need to be comfortable with playing online. These things like pre-moving with lead chess and in chess.com, these things can be quite critical. So if you're not an online player, a usual online player, these things can add up and cause a bigger problem for you. So practicing online, I think, is very important. There's some players that are super strong online, and their normal rating is not as high as the online rating. So there's a big difference sometimes in the two. So that's what I would do. I think openings is very, very important, and just your speed as well. Online.
Goes maybe with sharpness, like lots of tactics.
Yes. Oh, of course, definitely lots of tactics. What's happening over here? I think Black has lost his old queen side over here. The bishop is hanging. Black has the bishop there. The pawn is also hanging. Is the white king safe enough? White's got the two knights versus the two bishops. White is also 2 pawns up. Okay, Black grabs the pawn, and now suddenly g3 is a huge hole. Is it enough? Queen g3 check. Is that... Oof, almost, mate. Queen g3 check would be king e3. And then Black can capture on g2. Forward. And then knight on h3 is also hanging. Doesn't seem like White is anywhere close to the king. Okay, but the bishop on d3 was hanging, so yeah.
Sure.
Ek weet nie so mooi nie. Justin Chess, ek sal dit 'n coke genoem het.
Is that Justin Wilkin? Or
yeah, Justin Chess, of course, that's Justin.
Sure, I missed a lot of these names.
Okay, and then Henry gets in the final blow over there. The queen hangs,
Yeah,
and I think it's time for the
nice.
players to take a break.
Yeah.
So, okay, tough games there, guys. Nice entertaining stuff. So we've got our official mini break. So yeah, time to just recover a bit from the games. First portion is done. Tough one there, Daniel. Well done, Henry. So we're gonna give you 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, so you can get up and stretch the legs if you want to, but just be ready in 5 minutes again so that we can continue. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get a word from the players again at some point. Demeter, what can you tell me about the two games thus far?
Interesting. Unfortunate about the first one, obviously. Looks like by what we saw in that second game, it was quite sharp, exciting. I think, as Daniel admitted, Henry was better. But, in
Yes.
the shorter time control, things can still happen.
Yes.
In the second one, it looked like Daniel perhaps structurally was overwhelmingly better at a stage, but Henry showing some very good decision making by keeping it complicated, keeping some pressure on the clock, and eventually coming out on top with that nice skew at the end.
Yes,
What
yes,
did you
yes.
think?
Well, I think Henry had a nice quick advantage there in the first game. The second one was quite entertaining. Let's actually, you know what? Let's quickly just get to the scoreboard here, Demeter, just to show everybody what's the situation at hand. But yeah, the second game was. Second game, let's see, was quite entertaining. It seemed like Henry was positionally down with the structure, but he seemed to have. I think the main move in that second game was rook to e8, eh? Rook to e8, initiating some play with rook e6 and so on. It seemed like Daniel got back into it. Where did Daniel lose the thread in the second game?
Sure, that rook e8 move was quite interesting, but it looked like after rook d6 and when he tripled up on the d file, it looked interesting.
It looked quite
H6.
nice for white, actually. We're gonna have to just double check there on what happened exactly. If the viewers can see the scoreboard right now, so Henry right now has got a very nice lead, just like I think in the first match where he played Paul. He's got a 4-0 lead. That's 4 points. Daniel needs to get on the scoreboard, and yeah, from now on it will be 1 point for a win or for a draw, and we have 8 games remaining. We're gonna start the section of 5 minutes with a second increment, 4 games of that, and then we're gonna take another small break, and then we're gonna get to the section of 3 minutes and 1 second increment. So that is that. So let's get back to the arena. So yeah, I think there's still lots of potential for Daniel to get back into the game. I think he's just gonna have to keep a calm head here.
Agreed. Got a little bit of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, with 8 games to go, 4 points behind, so he needs to get on the scoreboard. The 2 players are already seated, so yeah, it is kind of early in the game. So I'll check with the players quickly if they are ready for action.
All right.
Guys, how are you feeling right now? Do you still need to take some time? Are you both ready? Daniel, are you ready to go? Okay, so both players seem ready. So I'm going to mute my mic, and whenever you guys are ready, we can continue. And it's the 5 minutes with 1 second increment portion that's starting now. 4 games of that. Good luck. Okay, and here we're off. So I'm going to turn the board around this time. We've had 2 games with Henry's bird's eye view. We're going to switch over to Daniel's point of view. So Daniel is playing with the black pieces again, and Henry switches over to the Scotch, like I've mentioned before. He likes this 4 knights, and Daniel goes with bishop c5.
Yeah.
And the knight b3 variation, I think, I'm not a specialist in this line, but I think I've seen Carlsen play this as white, with queen e2
Yeah,
and bishop e3 and so on.
sure. I haven't seen this in a while, to be honest with you.
Very interesting. An early a5 there, because sometimes white has some intentions of going bishop e3 and long castle. So black, I think, kind of wants to discourage white from doing that.
Mm. Looks again, if we're just looking at white, how do you think that king side is going to develop? Are we going to see some g3, bishop g2?
G3, bishop G2, it seems a possibility. Bishop E3, what I expected. So this, I think, was a critical moment, I think, where white had to decide if he's going to include A4 or not. And he's decided not to include A4, so he's allowing black to play A4, maybe after bishop takes E3, queen takes E3. That would allow the lightsweight bishop to get out as well. And then A4. Maybe white can play knight to d2, knight c1. He's got some options. A4 immediately. So maybe if bishop takes b6, just takes on a3.
Takes an a3, and then bishop's going to have to move, take on a2.
Is Daniel going to give up the bishop pair like that? Can white go for that? Bishop takes e3, a takes b3, bishop back to e3. And then if black captures on c2, queen takes c2 or takes on a2, maybe white can stall on capturing on a2. I think that's what Henry is going for here. e5 also looked interesting over there instead of bishop takes, yes? Because after knight takes and then bishop takes, then the knight would be hanging. e5 was also a dangerous move.
No, sure. This is the blitz. I think both players are going to kind of make decisions quickly and stick to intuition where they can.
Yeah. So Henry has been handling the time quite well in the past match. Daniel had some issues in the middle of his previous match, but then he actually stepped up his game. So as Daniel mentioned earlier in the studio, that he thinks he should be playing faster. So let's see if Daniel actually improves. Daniel doesn't decide to capture; he just castles. Was there any danger in capturing the pawn? Perhaps e5 or something like that was an issue. I think if black captured on a2, perhaps e5 was a threat, with the king still stuck on e8. So black may be admitting to that and giving up the pawn.
So so white still has to take some moves to develop this king side.
I think that's maybe what black is banking on, yes. Cagelo is asking, why not bishop c5? Was that maybe instead of pawn takes pawn? Or I'm not sure when he's referring to that. Maybe he's trying to stop the king from castling. That also, I think white had an array of nice moves over there, or interesting attacking moves. Definitely what we want to see. So it seems like we've got the GM chatties again. Yesterday we had a lot of people in the chat giving us a lot of good moves. So I actually said, I don't know if you saw that portion, but I actually said I need to have a Calvin Klaassen invitational with just the stream chat players, because the stream chat players have got all the great moves. Maybe we should have an invitational just for them.
From what I've been seeing with the recommendations, I think that's a very good idea.
So white has long castled here, and there's pressure on the d file. Black's rook is eyeing the queen on e2, and white's rook is eyeing the queen on d8.
Sure.
And there's a lot of tension in the center. And essentially, white doesn't want to capture on d5 with the pawn because of the pressure down here, and black can't capture right now because of the pressure down there. So this is getting tricky. Black to play.
It's so easy. Maybe bishop e6, but then some of the pressure that you're referring to goes. What other options are there? Maybe something like queen e7.
Black, it seems like there's a pin, but the pin is not going to be effective again with the pin of the rook on the queen. Bishop e6, it looks very natural to me. I agree.
Maybe queen e7.
Maybe queen e7, yes. And by the way, the rook is open on the A file. I almost missed that. I went blind. The A7 pawn is missing and it's starting to look good there for the rook on A8. You say queen E7.
Yeah.
Can white capture on D5? Probably not, eh? Or can't he maybe capture? Queen E7. Oopsie, queen E7. And then if knight takes, rook takes D5 is still available though.
Yeah, but then what's it at the end that there's going to be something on A2 maybe?
Yes, I thought so, KG. We missed that. Yeah, bishop G5 pinning the knight. So now pawn takes pawn, a real threat again.
Sure. Not easy. Okay.
Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, perhaps?
Then, sure.
How about knight takes pawn?
That is good. Looks interesting, hey? There's a lot of stuff going on there.
So let's imagine knight takes pawn. The knight is not in a real pawn. The queen is still defended somewhat. Then we can open up the black king. What is black's reply going to be after knight takes pawn? Why did he not play knight takes pawn? Queen c5 check perhaps after knight takes pawn. Then no, there's no check on c5. That's actually something.
Maybe the A2 pawn again.
Okay. I keep on thinking that the A7 pawn is on the game, on the board.
Yeah.
So okay. So pawn takes pawn was played. White wants to get his bishop into the game and his other rook as well. Now
so what are you thinking now? Maybe bishop G4.
Ooh, bishop G4. Maybe just. Okay, that's a big question actually. I was thinking about queen takes bishop, knight takes, and then bishop takes queen, but then knight f2 could be an issue. Or can we play bishop takes f6 first? Bishop takes
f6, bishop takes e2, bishop takes e7, bishop takes rook, yeah.
And it seems like white might be the one and exchange down in that variation. So it seems like black is posing a real threat over here. So what's the best option here? Either bishop takes f6 or queen takes g4. He goes in for queen takes g4. So if black captures on e7, then white can regroup. If black goes knight f2, maybe white can get the bishop out, allow black to capture the rook in the corner, and then just try to get the knight back, and he'll actually be up. So black doesn't go
maybe
for
bishop h4. Yeah, bishop h4, bishop moves somewhere. It should be going.
Okay, so black decides just to keep it solid. Black is 2 pawns down now. White just needs to get his pieces into play. There's a weakness on e4. Black is active with a nice square in e5 as well, but I can see the white knight jumping to d5 at some point.
So, knight b4. Henry doing very well on the clock in the last couple of games.
Yes, like I've mentioned, Henry is really using. I mean, if you look at the rating there, Henry's bliss rating is 2600. These players don't always use their top profile name for these events, but I mean, Divine Intervener also had to play a few games to get to 2300. So I think white is now stabilized. White's looking good right now. White is 1 pawn up. Sorry, white. I thought he was 2 pawns up. It's only 1 pawn up. Knight takes a2 is not possible yet. There's some back rank problems.
Yeah. G6 to clear the way. Position is starting to calm down somewhat. Okay.
And okay, so White wins over there. Barry's had some time problems there as well. So tough one there for Daniel. Losing the first game of the 5 minutes, 1 second portion.
Yeah. So we've seen D4, I think, for the first time.
Yes, what did Daniel play in the other white game he had?
Wasn't it E4? Oh no, it was that Samish kind of
Yes.
Blumenfeld.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we have a, what do we call this? Like a
Classical.
like
Not
the
too
Queen's
classical.
game structure with Bishop B4 in. What do I know? Daniel actually likes playing this for Black as well.
Knight coming into E5, maybe ideas of supporting with F4.
This looks very similar to a Namzo Indian actually. Some lines in the Namzo Indian, like the Petrosian variation, or some people. Yeah, I think they call it the Petrosian line. Yes, the Ragazan. Thank you, scariest name. It was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't get to it. The Ragazan.
Yeah.
So interesting how Henry is using that line against Daniel. And I've seen Daniel has been playing it quite a lot as Black. Sometimes it's difficult to face your own opening, eh? Because chess players, when you play an opening, you put your belief into it. You believe that what you're playing is correct, and nobody can touch your opening, so to speak, if you work hard at it. So if someone plays the same opening against you, there's so many things going through your mind, variations that you have worked out at home and know it's good for you, but does your opponent know which way to go? It's an interesting thing then that happens. So
Also, perhaps maybe what are you willing to show in terms of your prep when there's an online audience? Are you going to show your deepest secrets in terms of what you've worked on? Just a
yes, that's
quick
another thing.
question here, Cal. Is Knight...
Knight takes e4 is a suggestion. Are you talking about
but
knight
it
takes
opens
e4?
up that diagonal. Yeah, I might give up that pawn gladly on e4 to open up that diagonal for the bishop.
And then maybe
Not
queen to
sure.
g5. Is queen g5 a move after that? Queen to g5 knocking g2 and e5 also hanging. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So let's say knight takes e4. Oh, move before. Okay, I was saying a move before that. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
But
I was thinking
Daniel
now.
goes in for it. Daniel goes in for it. Can't this end up being dangerous?
So what will happen next? Maybe queen
F3?
d5 as suggested. Queen d5, f3.
Are you saying queen d5 immediately?
Or did you want to delay it somewhat?
I was thinking about taking the bishop on d2.
Yeah.
And then knight takes d2. And then queen g5.
And then g4, g5, and then okay.
But then maybe knight f3. And the c7 pawn could end up being weak in the whole variation for black. So I'm not sure. And queen d5 immediately. It's the knight. Bishop takes b4. And but then it's mate on g2. There your move gets played. Well done. So queen to d5, knight's hanging. The knight can't move. What is white to do?
So maybe this f3 or something of that effect is going to be played now.
I like your move, Dam. I like queen d5.
Thanks,
f3.
Yeah.
Queen takes d2.
Yeah, I think so.
So c7 is covered for now.
How would you go on with white? You gonna play
I would like, yeah, rook ft1. I would like to get my pawn on e3 onto e4 just to blunt that bishop on b7. Yes. I'd like to get that. Probably rook fd1 right now. Yes. White decides queen c3. So Daniel plays queen c3. He's eyeing the c7 pawn. He's inviting an exchange of queens as well.
Yeah. Kind of fixing the problem, nullifying that bishop on B7.
Yeah, but now
Can
I'm not sure about this. Knight takes, can't black maybe play? Is there time for C5? At some point C5, and
I
black has
think
got
so.
this
Just maybe knight a4. You have to be careful.
Yeah, black has got this 3 versus 2 on the queen side now. He's got the
Yeah.
bishop. But white can probably play e4 next, if nothing
Yeah,
else.
white's got some space. Yeah. How would you assess this, Calvin?
Oh, it's difficult. If black can activate the bishop, let's say if black can get the bishop on e6 and maybe play f6, then I kind of like black here. I kind of like black with the bishop and with the 3 versus 2 on the queen side. White is going to have to either go for a direct attack on these queenside pawns somewhere, maybe the c7 pawn, or if the c7 pawn moves to and then hit the b6 pawn. But white is definitely going to have to try and get these pawns going as well, perhaps in the center. But yeah, I probably would choose black in this position. Knight to d5, and okay, now we've got a pure rook endgame, and black is quite happy to exchange rooks, seeing that he's got this 3 versus 2 on the queen side. Yes, white also has the extra pawn on the king side, but it's easier to create a passed pawn with 3 versus 2 compared to the 4 versus 3 over there. And a passed pawn, I mean a side passed pawn on the side. So I think this is getting.
I'm not sure about that one. Yeah.
So it depends if black can block everything, maybe. I think white might be in trouble. Maybe rook takes and king d6, king d4, and then can we block everything up?
Yeah.
I think Henry's
so
going
kind
in for
of.
that. King d4.
Yeah. Because, okay. So I think the idea now after f6 is to be able to move the c pawn, and after white captures, the black king can happily capture on c6 without the white king coming in by e5.
Okay, if he wants to do that, but I mean, I think I thought that he could maybe stall a bit and try to win the d pawn somehow, but it doesn't seem like it. But yes, he executes exactly what you mentioned. So yeah. Okay, so seems equal now,
ways to go about it.
Seems equal.
So.
Looks like this one is going to end in a draw. Time is pretty even. Time is pretty even.
So the nice thing about these, they're quite pawn in games are quite well defined. Just the time, obviously, is what makes it interesting. What would you play, Kelvin? Maybe b5? Would you look at something like that?
b5. I would just bounce around. I would not be too interested in what's happening since I mean, even if b5, white can probably just capture. Maybe b5 was something there. I might be underestimating b5 actually. But can't white just maybe just capture? Pushing could be also dangerous. Yeah.
Seems that there's some people commentating in the Leeches room as well.
Yes, you can also, of course, check the game directly at Leeches. So the players' names are available if you want to go check it out at Leeches. That's what we are also doing. We're also checking the game via Leeches. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Henry quite low on time, but this position.
Nothing much in it. I think there will be a draw soon.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility of white playing a5 perhaps? White playing a5.
I think that's an interesting move, Kelvin. I think b5 would have to be the response.
So let's say white plays h4 now, and then black plays h5, and then a5.
b5.
So let's say a5 over here. If b5, okay, then black is just in time to stop it. Yeah, I think the tempo is not right here.
Yeah. Similarly, b5, maybe.
a5 and b5 should seal the draw.
Yeah, b5, king c3, king d5, king d3.
Seems
11
like
seconds.
seems like Daniel is gonna try some triangulation. No, he doesn't go for it. They go for a repetition.
Yeah, good sportsmanship.
I don't know. I would have tried some triangulation.
Wait until he's got 3 seconds and then play g4 or something.
Yeah. So okay, that's Daniel is on the scoreboard finally. That was the second game of the 3 minutes. No, the 5 minutes and 1 second increment. So let's swap the board around again. Let's get a view from Henry's side.
Yeah.
And what do we have here? We've got a piano.
This is your favorite, Calvin?
No. I don't think I've played piano a lot in my life. Probably when I was really small or young.
Yeah.
But I must say I kind of liked visually. I like the piano because it looks very similar to the Rai Lopez in a lot of ways. So I mean, you can see something like this in the Berlin defense as well as in the some I don't know if you call it the anti-Berlin with D3 or something. You can see these structures. So very
Yeah.
appealing to me structurally. I'm not too sure about all of the intricacies of the opening. I'm sure that there's lots of small details to it. When can black play D5? When can't he play D5? And so on. But all in all, I've got nothing against the Italian. I like it. It's a quiet line. It's a quiet opening, but a lot of top players use it actually at the highest level just to get a position and try to outplay your opponent. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I like it. I think this is like chess, quite pure. It's one of those ones where you'll study some old classical games, get some ideas, maybe spice it up, modernize it with an engine here and there when
Yes,
you're doing
yes.
your preparation.
And you know what?
But I like it.
I actually saw another interesting way of playing it as well. I don't know how solid it is if you back it up with the engine, but I think surely it should be fine structurally using this without castling, and then white goes knight d2 and knight f1 and knight g3 and queen e2, and sometimes before knight g3 you can even play h3 and g4, or you just play h3 and you kind of hang around with the king in the middle. I think Sergei Tavyakov, I'm not sure if he's got a DVD or something. Sergei has some interpretation of that way of playing the Italian, and I think I've seen the young Pragnananta also playing it in a few games. So that's also another way of playing it and spicing it up. So definitely an interesting opening.
Yeah, agree with you 100%.
So black has completed his development over here. White has just played bishop a4, typical actually nowadays. I've seen this move a lot, pop up bishop a4. Maybe hinting at taking on c6 and disrupting the pawn structure. White goes back to c2 instantly.
Yeah.
a5.
So it looks like, Henry, nice time advantage again.
Aha, Henry hasn't used more than half a minute. Welcome, Hibernatom. Hibernatom. Is it Hibernator M? Something like that. Thank you for following. Please bear with my pronunciation, guys. Well, thank you for following and welcome to the stream. So, guys, just to update everybody, it's the third game. It's the third game of the 5 minutes in a 1 second increment, and the rapid portion was won by Henry 2-0, which gave him a 4-point lead. And now we've started with the section with 5 minutes in 1 second increment, and Henry's got a slight edge on the 5 minutes with 1 second increment portion as well, having won the first game, and they drew the second one, and this being the third one. So to clinch the match, you must have 6.5 points. So Henry is actually very close. He's not too far away from clinching the match. Daniel should definitely get.
Needs to do something fast. Yeah.
So the current score right now, with Henry winning the rapid with the score of 4-0 points, and he won the first. Let's see, it's 5-0 and another draw. So Henry's on 5.5, and Daniel is on half. So Henry technically just needs to win one more game, and he would have won the match. So this is how powerful the rapid portion of the match is. That's why I emphasized that to everybody, that the rapid is the two rapid games are so important, because each game counts for 2 points, and if you lose both rapid games, then there's a serious issue, because 4 points is very tough to get back from with only 8 games remaining.
Yeah. Okay.
So Scariest Name says that Tafiakov does have a DVD on this line that I described with 92 and 91 and so on. Kasparov apparently has been playing the way you described in Simmels a lot. That's what he says. So the Yonk, we gave the scores now. I hope you got it. So Henry has got a big lead right now. He needs one more win to clinch the match. So Daniel, against the wall here, he needs to react. And Henry having the white pieces, by the way. And Daniel playing with the black pieces, yeah.
Yeah. That knight's come into f5, swapped off, and then once again Henry ends up
got
with
the bishop
pair.
Yes, there we go. So, and Daniel, in fact, has got the knight pair.
He likes it. It's nice in chess that you can see certain aspects of personality coming out in terms of the decisions that players make.
Yes, definitely, and the different ways or strategies of tackling your opponent. So I think knight d5 could potentially give white that e4 square for the bishop eventually. I don't know, maybe queen f3. You think the knight and then bishop e4 could be dangerous? White goes queen e4. White has got some f6 in mind here. The knight's hanging. Black might have to just drop back to f6. Queen c5. Okay, so the queen is protecting the knight on c6, so f6 is not possible, because that won't leave the knight on c6 hanging.
So
is bishop a3 a possible?
What do you think of a rook d1? Bishop a3.
Is that
maybe rook d1 also?
Rook d1 also. Maybe rook d1. Can black play rook d8 or something? What are we following up with?
So rook d8. Maybe then that bishop a3 idea is gonna.
I'm not sure about bishop a3. After bishop a3, queen takes a3 perhaps, and then queen takes d5. Maybe queen takes c3, protecting the knight.
And was there bishop e4 at the end of that? Not sure.
Maybe. But he goes in for bishop e3, and now he kind of undoubles his pawns with f takes e3. c3 is hanging. He grabs on a4. The knight on c6 is hanging. The light squares are becoming very weak here in the black camp. All these light squares could potentially be a problem in the long run. Where's the knight going? Black is down to 13 seconds. Oh no, Daniel is in trouble.
Yeah. Knight b4, nice
move. Knight b4, the bishop on a4 is hanging.
Okay, but pawn can capture.
Pawn can capture. And the game is over, right? So let's go for the rematch. I think we can just leave it like this and it gets there. Let's just click on it. So tough one there for Daniel. I think the match is for qualification purposes over.
Now it's all about pride.
Yes, and I think what Daniel can try and do is at least attempt to win the 3 minutes, 1 second increment portion of that mini match. So let's see. What's happening? It looks like a hippo.
Yeah, it does. So it shows, I think, Calvin, in life, we're always going to experience some form of hardship. Things aren't always going to go away. it's always important to try and think what's the most you can get out of a particular situation. Sure,
Definitely.
quite a few of the players that we've got viewing have experienced that in a tournament, in a call,
So
and yeah.
So, sorry, Dem, just to cut you off, you were saying I'm gonna get back to your point. There's very interesting line here that Black is playing. I've seen this in some hippo lines where Black actually plays King F8 because the pawn on A6 is hanging. Then Black goes King F8, King G8, and King H7 to protect, and then he gets his rook into the game wherever. Very cute line here by Black. It looks crazy, but it's actually very doable. Your mic is just muted there, Dem.
Sorry,
There we go.
Kelvin.
So yeah, now the point that you brought across over there, I think is very important. I mean, chess teaches you that you should get the best out of every situation. I mean that is a quite an important uh, viewpoint you should have in life. So I think you hit the nail on the head there with that. I think that's a very important point. So and chess, I think, is also nice because you need to take responsibility for your own decisions, and it's not
Yeah.
like any other sport where you can blame your partner or whatever. You need, everything is up to you. Even though
Yeah.
chess players have got a lot of excuses, I think chess players are the people with the biggest talent of producing excuses. So
Oh yeah. It
uh,
that I think always comes down to ego, right? A
of
lot
course,
easier.
of
Yeah,
course, like
I think not just in chess. I think in life in general. When there's a form of mistake, as human beings, the last place we're going to look is the mirror most of the time, right?
yes, and like Bobby Fischer said, I want to break my opponent's ego. So it is definitely
Yeah,
about the ego as well. So yeah.
sure.
Okay, so what's happening over here? Black has managed to regain some space, and Black is threatening rook to c8. Can the white queen enter anywhere? Doesn't Can the white queen get to c7 perhaps? But then rook c8 would have
Yeah,
been a knockout punch anyway because queen takes b8, rook takes c1 check, and the queen on b8
sure.
is defended. Queen a3 knocks the knight on e7. Black can play bishop f8, but it would love to get the rook out first.
Yeah,
So that's why rook
spot on.
e8 and maybe bishop f8 afterwards.
That's the thing with openings like the hippo. Nice thing is if you survive it, it's quite easy to improve your position because of the somewhat unnatural location of some pieces.
Yeah, it seems like you're just holding on, or you're just blocking and blocking and blocking. But afterwards, once you get out of it, and you actually have a lot of potential to get at your opponent. So it can
Yeah,
actually be a very irritating opening to face, I must admit.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, your opponent gives you all this space, and if you don't get an advantage, and then all of a sudden your opponent is coming at you, it could be very straining on you as well. So
Sure.
this
Kelvin, did you see in this previous position now when knight f5 was played? Was rook c8 not a move?
rook to c8 instead of knight f5.
Yeah.
That might have been a better option. Let's see.
But maybe rook c6, eh?
Rook c6. And then your knight has to move, and then the rook. Okay. Yeah, maybe you just answered yourself over there.
Yeah, I think so. But no, I don't think it's an option because the knight was still on e7. Maybe it was
Maybe rook
interesting.
c7. Maybe rook c7.
Rook c7. Okay, that's my possibly.
So black is
Still.
slightly awkward here.
Mm,
Henry is defending slightly here because the knight doesn't want to move. The b6 pawn can also be weak. Even though white has his own issues here on d4. Maybe that's what
yeah.
he's thinking about.
So what are you thinking? Knight c2 maybe?
Knight c2, yeah, the knight's not doing too much. Maybe you should just employ that knight to do that defensive job. Is knight e5 a possibility? No, because then the d4 pawn will be hanging. Knight c2, I think. And then white
Or
can think about
maybe. Are you
maybe
sure?
doing
So
some.
95, you're saying that d4, he takes on
Okay,
d4.
the d7 pawn,
d7.
the d7 is also hanging. And that's what you.
Yeah.
Knight to g4.
Okay.
Obviously, there's some ideas of rook takes d7 and then knight f6 at some point. But
Yes.
So what is Daniel saying right now? Daniel is saying if you capture my pawn on d4 with a knight, what is he going to do?
He might capture on h6 with the bishop or something, just to speak to that idea that you're speaking of, rook d7.
Bishop takes h6 and then then knight takes f3. Oh, maybe we can just, after knight takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, and then we can perhaps play bishop takes h6. Okay, so black does capture on d4.
Yeah.
Not that black minds losing the h6 pawn and gaining the central pawn. I think
also opening that diagonal for the bishop.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I think what we are going to do after this game, we're going to take a small break. Breather for everybody, for the players and for the commentators. We'll take a small breather. But stay tuned, everybody. We won't be going offline. We're just gonna be behind the scenes. So we'll update you on the scores, and then of course after the break we'll do the 4 games of 3 minutes with 1 second increment. So there we go. He goes in for the move that you said, Dom, with bishop takes h6. Can't black maybe just play knight takes f3 check right now?
I think so. Knight takes f3 check, g takes f3.
And what
then do you want to
after
take on
that?
b2? Are you going to take on b2? Maybe that a4, a3 looking a little bit scary.
Maybe take on b2, yes. Yeah, maybe that's it. It's funny how this rook and knight is just blocking everything. Black decides to just capture the b5 pawn, very simple, and d6 is also hanging. We're missing stuff here on the queen side. The d6 pawn is hanging, and yeah, I think white is in trouble.
Looks like it had a good practical decision.
Rook to c6 perhaps, but just I don't know. Yeah. Black has a lot of options here. He can even start pushing his central pawns.
I think that might have to happen, because black at the same time is also a little bit tied down.
So maybe rook c6 and perhaps f6. Perhaps f6 is a good move. f6 with e5 and the king swinging around to e6, because the knight on d7 is still trying to cover b6. So Henry goes f5. Okay, so he wants the knight to jump to e5 and then swap off, and then rook takes d6. He wants rook takes d6.
Yeah. Okay.
So white needs to play knight e3 or white probably needs to play knight e3 now.
Yeah, so I think definitely try keep pieces on if your opponent's got a more favorable structure.
Yes.
And
of course black being up as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so knight takes, rook takes d6, and I think there's nothing much happening over here.
Well, yeah. Well spotted, Calvin. This is exactly what you said. Okay. Again, we're seeing how quick Henry is in these time controls.
Okay, let's get the players on the line quickly. Hi Daniel, tough games over there. We're gonna have a break. Let me just get Henry on the line as well. We're waiting for Henry to get on the line, everyone. Hi Henry. Okay, so guys, tough games over there. So just to mention, Henry, you have already won the match. So Daniel, I would suggest that you try to win the mini match, the 3 minutes portion. So let's make it exciting. I must say we have been enjoying the games as well. So yeah, but first take your break, and we're gonna have a quick chat afterwards. So take your 5 minutes break, and then we can have 2 words to say afterwards before you start. All right. So I'll phone you back when we're ready. Cheers. Okay, so Henry won 3 games of the 5 minutes and 1 second increments. So he actually scored 3.5 in that. So yeah, what do you think, Demeter? What did Barrish do wrong in the match thus far, or why is it so tough for him? Of course, he's playing as a very strong player, but any comments from your side?
I think we can all maybe relate to what Daniel's maybe experienced. When that first game where you get disconnected, and I think it's how you start an event or a tournament or like a match really influences the way that you feel, and not having a good start can impact the rest of your event momentum, because now you're playing catch up
Yeah,
from game one. So perhaps not an ideal way to start.
yeah,
And
I
then,
I agree with you
yeah,
on that one. Yes, it's difficult, especially I mean, just donating those 2 points, even though he was down. It's
yeah,
not a nice way to start the event. Um, and how do you think Henry handled everything?
sure. I'm impressed with a lot of the decision making that I've seen, especially with how he's handling time advantages on the clock.
Yeah,
And
and he's been quite swift
yeah,
on the clock.
yeah, 100%. I think both are very strong players. It's really nice to actually get to see these games. Um, Hopefully, the 3 minutes are just as exciting. So far, the most interesting game that stood out for me was that second rapid game. I don't know what
Yeah,
game
yeah,
stood
that one
out for
was
you. So,
quite interesting.
yeah,
Yes. No, I don't want to cut you off. You can continue then.
no, sure. Yeah, it's a
All
privilege
right.
to see these strong players.
Okay, so let's just quickly go to the scoreboard. So as we can see, Henry has already taken the match, and he's on 7.5 versus Daniel's half a point. It's been a tough match for Daniel. He had a rough start by disconnecting his first game, and he was an exchange down, to be fair, when he disconnected in his first game. But yeah, he had his moments as well, and it seems like the main theme of this match was that I don't know, the bishop pair for Henry. Henry has been utilizing the bishop pair and has been very sharp tactically as well, sometimes compromising his own pawn structure just to get play and to get the bishop pair. So and then of course the other thing is Henry is just very swift on the clock. It shows with his online rating. So yeah, something to look at, something to think about for other players as well. So Henry is already qualifying for the finals, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of this tournament. So yeah, I think Daniel should just try to make the most of it and try to win the 3 minutes 1 second portion of the game.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's just get back to our studio and talk a bit. Or in fact, you know what, guys? I said we're gonna take a break. Let's just take a small breather and then get back. We'll be back in very short time, 3-4 minutes, and we'll be back. Thank you.
Calvin, I don't know if you can hear me on the call, but my video... Okay, let me turn on my video.
I'll let you guys know when we can start. Don't start yet. Don't start playing yet. Okay, we're back, guys. So, then we're back in the studio here. Yeah, it's a tough one for Daniel thus far. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a tight match when it comes to the 3-minute 1 second portion of it. So let's get to the arena. And the players, they can start challenging. If you can hear me, I think I must just get to the television where they're playing. All right, guys, whenever you are ready, you can start. Good luck. Okay, and we see a B4 by Henry. Is that called the orangutan, Demeter?
Not 100% sure. Can it not transpose into a reti? I can't remember these
Oh,
lines.
it's like
I
an,
remember.
what is this? An accelerated reti or something where you get B4 in early or what? I got no clue.
I remember seeing these under miscellaneous in the old Bassford's chess book.
I think we've seen something like this from Henry. The structure seems very familiar, and then he would play something like G3 afterwards, an early 95 being played, maybe knight takes C4. So the bishop on B2 looks quite interesting. Interesting how Henry is using this B4 line.
Yeah. Definitely not one I would have predicted.
So Daniel using his Slav structure here to counter what he's seeing right now. Henry continuing with his English type of mode. B4 is hanging.
That's true.
And the scariest name points out that this is orangutan or the Sokolov variation. I never knew that. So okay, so white is a pawn down, but white has got lots of open lines for his bishops. It seems like Henry is comfortable playing this in gambit style.
Yeah.
Black is a bit passive. I mean, his bishop on C8, it's going to be difficult to get it out. I'm not sure how to get it out. A5 is a threat, and maybe A6, weakening the C6. It's a lot of pressure, I would say, on black right now.
100%. And white's got a lot of ways to improve. So some quick moves to come, I anticipate, from white.
You can even see something like knight d2 or knight a3 and then getting to the c4 square, perhaps. I don't know if I'm being
sure.
extravagant, but that's a possibility.
Interesting move. Knight d7, knight takes d7, bishop takes queen b3.
So black is blocking up the b file with the knight. I mean, black just wants to secure everything and then eventually claim that he's still a pawn up. White has got some active pieces. The knight has got some ideas. The bishop is also strong on the diagonal. But if nothing dramatic happens, I don't know if black can get this bishop out as well eventually. Somehow, if he could get in e5 and bishop e6, I think black can actually get his game going.
Yeah, even maybe with in the right moment, something like c5, bishop c6.
Yes.
Be an option. Okay.
Yes. So black goes a bit drastic here with f5. What is black's idea? Bishop f6. Queen c3 threatening mate and rook f7.
I think so. But
so the bishop on d7 is definitely not happy.
no.
Is bishop f6 an idea? Queen b3, queen d2, queen b3 probably. Knocking that e6 pawn as well.
Yeah, queen b3. Then what would you do? Maybe something.
Queen e7 perhaps, knocking the knight.
The knight, you're not afraid of it capturing on b7, hey?
Okay. I'm not happy for black. I'm not
maybe
happy.
Maybe b6 with the idea of rook c8, c5, and then fixing that bishop.
Okay, that I like. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. So now white, and your idea, rook said, I really like your idea over there. And you know what? What's even possible here? Perhaps c5, and then after bishop takes a8, queen takes a8 was also a possibility. Then that light squared bishop would actually become, instead of a bad piece, be quite a strong piece, like being a pawn up for the exchange, and the a4 pawn also being weak. That seemed quite interesting to me.
Definitely didn't notice that one, but I think in blitz it's always good to sacrifice.
Yes, and maybe Daniel just wants to point out that he's still a pawn up, so why would he want to sack an exchange? Yeah. I was looking at c5 the whole time, but okay, the knight on c4 probably would have caused a lot of issues with the b6 pawn.
Yeah.
Long run.
Yeah, and then kind of the pawn on a4 holds back the a5 and b6 pawns.
But still, considering this bishop on d7, I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to. All the pawns, the bishop on d7 looks like he's holding two huge pillars together, so that the whole house doesn't collapse.
Sure. As I think you mentioned earlier, if that bishop can come out, suddenly will look like a pawn up, but looks like he has to give up a pawn to get that.
Yes, and a5 is hanging, like you said. Sometimes white can even capture on d5, but it's not necessary now. The bishop is still hemmed in, so why do we want to do that? Rook a7, maybe just knight b3.
Yeah. So important to note that Barrish has got 7 seconds here, but there is 1 second increment.
Yes.
Guillotine, this would have been game over.
And Barrish is playing with the black pieces, everyone. Henry's playing with the white pieces. So there, white does what I said earlier. You can sometimes give black this bishop on g2 to try and play with the good knight versus bad bishop. But I don't know. Black still has this outside pawn here.
Yeah.
But and, white has lots of play on the dark squares. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. The rook drops. The rook drops. Oof. It was a tough one there. So I think Henry chose the right moment to give up his bishop for the knight.
Yeah.
Okay, so Henry now plays. Was that f6 move 1? No, it was move 4. Henry plays a very funny setup here. We've seen him do this before at the end of matches. So
yeah,
all of a sudden it looks like a King's Indian.
Sure.
And Barrish is, I would say, more comfortable in the structure. He loves the structure in the King's Indian for white.
Mm.
And black pushes very early on with f4. I'm not sure if that is the best way of looking at it if from a King's Indian player point of view. I think bishop h6 is a nice move. Usually the knight's not on f7. Bishop h6
I
is a
think,
nice move.
I think that's the reason that you'd
Yes.
normally, because normally, as you say, you wouldn't really want to do that because as black, you want to put some pressure on the e4 square. But looks like Henry's quite comfortable and knows his setup.
But okay, Daniel is the first one to say something about his opponent's king. Henry immediately decides to block everything or attempt to keep things close.
Yeah. White trying to coordinate some pieces.
Bishop on d4 looks quite nice.
Those look like it, eh? Is he going to retreat with the bishop? I don't think it would be wise to allow white to capture that bishop on d4 because the king side dark squares would suddenly be weak. This is more
Kingside dark
favorable
squares.
though.
And I think in general black doesn't mind swapping off his dark square bishop with whites if his king can remain safe, because then there's some dark squares that black can utilize. Of course, white has the option of jumping in knight f5 as well, but black has the open b file.
Yeah.
Knight c5 surely is coming up at some point. Yes. Seems like that knight on f7 is doing a great job patrolling around his king.
Yeah. So it's one of those positions where, although it doesn't look that easy for black to improve, I don't know what your view is.
Yeah, look, it's difficult to attack on the queen side with such little space. Black usually has to maneuver for quite a while. I mean, c6 is not an option really. It would weaken d, or maybe c6 with the knight. I mean, but are we giving the knight too much to do? King h8, yes, but it takes a while for black to orchestrate something on the queen side with a lack of space. I mean, traditionally in the King's Indian, black wants to attack on the king side, looking at the pawn structure, how it's locked. So black looks good, but he needs a few more moves. Maybe he'll play queen b8 or maybe queen e7 to keep an eye on the king side still, and then double up eventually. So it is difficult. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it could still go both ways. I think maybe if white wants to put one of the knights on f6 and try to put some pressure on that g5 pawn, and I realize there's a knight on f7 holding that, but again, we know that dark squares are quite weak on the king side.
Yes. So I'm not sure. It also seems like white is going to take quite a while to get there, though. Black is already. I think black is doing good now. I mean, maybe Henry proved me wrong here with the speed that he got this attack going, because a4 is already a huge threat. a4 is already a huge threat, and he basically says, you can play knight f6. White can play knight f6, but what after that? I think white is a bit too slow here on the king side.
I'm with you. So what is the threat? So a4. So let's say knight f6, now a4. Okay. Oh, that's a nice move.
You could capture on b3 and then place the bishop on a4. That was perhaps a threat. But yeah, bishop b5 is nice. And now knight takes b3 is a threat.
Definitely. So what's going to happen? Maybe is king c2 or some concession going to be made? Oh, rook c3.
Okay, I'm assuming a4 or something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Perhaps rook h2 or something. It's looking very tough for white over here.
Knight to g7.
Desperation. Rook to a4. Okay, so white is trying something. He's at least trying here. He's trying to get rid of the knight. That might be
On
his only.
F7. Yeah.
No, the knight on c5. But I don't think it's going to help because the other rook. Oh, the rook on f8 is hanging.
Yeah.
So there must be some mate or what? What's happening here?
Well, let's look at. We're looking at maybe rook a1 check, king takes a1, queen a4 check, king b1, queen a2 check, king c1. Maybe there's going to be some b2 pawn push check there with promotion. Looks quite devastating, that idea.
b2 pawn check. So rook a1, you say king takes and queen a4 check and then king b1 back. Queen a2.
Yeah, followed by b2.
Ah, yes, queen a2 and then king c1 and b2 check and then promotion. Well done. That's a neat tactic over there. So rook takes c5 was played, getting rid of the knight. Is that getting rid of the danger for at least a tempo or two? Well, white have enough time to play knight takes f8.
And good question here. Rook a, that's idea still holds.
There your tactic comes. There your tactic comes. A brilliant rook sack here.
Oh, but now the king can go to c3.
King c3?
Yeah. A little bit different, eh?
King b4?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a check.
Knight takes maybe.
Queen takes maybe? Queen takes?
Oh, queen takes. Queen takes.
How about queen takes c5? But then rook b8 check. Rook b8 check was gonna hurt. Now if rook b8 check, you go king c6 and the king penetrates.
The king attack.
Yeah.
There's still a lot going on.
I must say Daniel did good here to keep the game alive. He did excellent to get. I mean, now knight takes f7 is a mate threat. If knight takes and queen takes, that's a. Okay, so the knight on d8 covers the c6 square very nicely. The white king is also trapped. That's a nice move, knight d8.
Henry.
Oh, very nice game. Very nice game. Woo. Okay, so
I like that. Both players played well.
I like that. I think if I was playing white there, I would have collapsed much earlier. I think Daniel got something going there at least.
You know when he played knight g5 with the pressure on knight f7, I think maybe if he went queen takes g5, because that f7 threat would have come as well. But okay, it's just like something I'm looking at quickly. I don't really.
Yeah, sure. Tell me, was that the second game of the 3 minutes, or we had a b4 game? Yeah, this is the second b4 game, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So Henry won the first two. Kamita, your buddy over there at the back is trying to enter as well. He says hi. Hi there.
The little mat, yeah.
Okay, so Henry using this b4 line, the orangutan or the Sokolov variation. Must say I haven't heard of the Sokolov line, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with this b4 stuff.
Definitely new to me.
So knight takes c6? Knight takes c6 and bishop takes f6?
Looks like it. Didn't think there was a way to stop that. Maybe now, what would you do?
Now just to develop your knight, how do you get your knight into the game? Maybe f5 is also a possibility. F5 with F5 with queen entering somewhere. The rook f4. The rook h4, rook g4. Queen d3. So white wants to go knight c3. That's why queen d3.
I think so. f5, I'd just be a little bit careful about weakening that e5 square.
Ah, yes, you're right. f5 is maybe a bit committing. Going for the king.
Okay, but I think this is quite balanced position from a material perspective. Obviously, black has got two sets of double pawns.
Yeah. Just to recap on the scores for people who have just joined. The score started after the break. Henry had a let's see. Henry had a 7.5 lead at the start at the end of the at the start of the break, and now Henry with a 3 minutes and 1 second increment won the first two games. So I think he's on 9.5 versus half. Daniel having the half a point. Very tough for Daniel. And this is our second last game of the match with a 3 minutes and 1 second increment or 3.1. So what's happening here, Dum? I7 is hanging. Can Black get some counterplay going, or what's happening? C4 is also hanging.
Because of
C7.
the lack of minor pieces, I think these positions you have to be quite careful, right? Because C4 is hanging, as you're saying.
The king.
A7's, yeah.
The white king has got a safe spot on H2, but the black king, on the other hand, if he gets chased out, then white can play rook G3 potentially. So I would say that for the moment, white's king looks slightly more safe. And with these type of endgames, that could be a big factor, not the pawns, so to speak. Because
Yeah. So I agree with you. The safety of the black king is a big concern.
And things are going downhill here for black. Daniel.
Maybe, what do you think about this queen d5 now? This check, excuse me, this check on f6, which is ending lives.
Yeah.
So maybe rook g6 is a must.
Queen f8 check, perhaps? But then you can just go back. Can go back to rook g6. The g8, I mean.
Maybe the idea is something like f5 and then with that exact threat. Oh, wow, snap.
Oof. Rook g3 is rook... Oh, no, rook g3 is a small trap, then queen e1 check.
Yeah.
Then queen takes g3. So black setting up a small trap. Recognizing he's probably lost, so why not just allow your opponent to go wrong? But Henry taking his time, so I mean he's got a minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Daniel's on 26 seconds.
Probably throw in a check or two, repeat moves, gain a second.
And by the way, mate is also being threatened.
Yeah.
Check, like you said, rook g8.
Yeah. If queen d8, can you claim the draw by threefold?
Not yet. I think that would be the second moment. You need to have the same position 3 times. But I think white could have just taken the draw if you wanted.
Yeah.
Might be the case. This is quite a nice way of black maintaining the balance here. This threat on g2 is so big. And white finds a way. He captures on c6 and defends against the mate.
Well spotted by Henry.
Yes.
Daniel's still holding on there.
Scariest name corrects himself over there. It's not Sokolov, it's called B4 is actually Sokolsky. So, interesting. So white a couple of pawns up, and black's threatening the a3 pawn, and e4 gets played, so a3 is covered now. So black holding on here, but I'm assuming the pawns are going to start marching forward.
Yeah. So if you had this position as white against Magnus Carlsen, how would you rate your chances?
Pretty good. I would be happy unless I am very low on time. But if I have a lot of time, if I had a 40 minutes on the clock, I'll use 30 minutes just to secure.
Yeah. In a bullet?
Bullet, I would give myself a 60% chance of winning. 60-70% is looking quite good for white.
Yes.
Yeah, no worries, scariest name. Your input is always welcome. So these guys
It's
going
down to
down
the second.
really low, yeah. They're going down. Henry's at 4 seconds. C5. The creating his passed pawn. So white's only
King
one pawn
G7.
up right now. The king is probably going to go march and collect the other pawn. That A5 pawn is a weakness. Black cuts him off.
Ah,
H4.
oh, nice.
I think
Wow, this is some good stuff,
I
eh?
think I
Sure.
think Daniel is defending quite well here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Daniel is making a huge effort here, getting back, and he can't
Wow.
actually exchange it. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's gonna be a draw. He couldn't exchange because the king wasn't close enough.
Yeah.
Let's see how
No.
Henry handles this theoretical draw. Is there something here for black? No, now that the king can get closer, now nothing.
No.
Okay,
And,
there we have it. So a nice comeback there by Daniel actually to just secure the draw. Wow.
that was really impressive, eh?
Yes. Whew. It was well done, well played there by Daniel. Henry slipping up there for the first time in the game to concede half a point there.
Yeah. That was impressive. Really happy with what I've seen.
Okay, so that was a draw. One last game. Last game of the match. Last game of the match, guys. Good luck. We're having fun here. Good luck. Let's view the rematch. So Henry playing, what did he do over there? A6 and B5. Henry playing very weird things here. He's just enjoying himself. It looks like a accelerated Owens defense, not stalling with B6 and Bishop B7 that we've seen from him before.
Turned into some French.
Yes, some freaky French with a bishop on B7.
Yeah. Maybe black can play something like b3 and target that a4 pawn at some stage with bishop c6, queen d7 ideas.
Probably, I mean, he can pick it up in long term. He should just all that black needs to do in these positions is always watch white on the king side with f4, g4, and the f5 break. I'm not too sure if
Yeah, you
if
see,
white,
this is what I was concerned about, white playing something like b3. You've played a few of these Frenches on the black side. Is
myself.
that correct?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't really played the French a lot. I've selected some individual games to play it. I haven't played the French really. So I must say my experience in it is not that much. But I mean, I think you're right here with white opening up the position quickly. Black needs to just be careful, even though his bishop is starting to look good down there. The knight has a potential good square in d5. Maybe this knight takes c3 or what? What's going on here? Knight takes c3? Why queen c2?
Queen takes. Maybe he wants to take with the queen. He likes his knight on e4.
So black chops the knight, gets rid of his bad bishop, and then puts the knight on d5. He's not interested in seeing whether or not the bishop on b7 will later on be useful.
Is this the first time that Daniel's had the bishop here?
Seems like it. Could be wrong, but I mean, it's one of the less occasions.
Yeah.
Lesser occasions. So, is white going to collect his pawn back, or what is he going to do? So c4 is hanging. So he switched over to trying to collect the c4 pawn.
Not so easy for white to develop that bishop on c1, must be noted.
Maybe he needs to look at playing bishop takes c4 and just take the knight.
I think so. Give up the bishop here. Maybe some c2 ideas at some position, not immediately.
Yes, but definitely, and the bishop looks very solid there. It's not going to be easy to dislodge him. So and Black also taking his time. I think the Black King is probably going to stay in the center for a while. Castling is not possible with the h6 pawn hanging in that case. So yeah, I can't see Black. Black's probably going to play King e7 at some point.
Yeah.
Black would have loved to play Knight b6 by now to cover his knight. So the d5 square is not being held by Black.
Yeah. Knight d7.
Bishop takes knight
Interesting move.
probably. Bishop takes knight e6 perhaps. Is that no? But it's not. His pieces is bishop on c1 and rook on a1 is not ready for that opening of everything. So Black gets his consolidating
Securing that d5 square.
Yes,
Yeah.
consolidation on d5 square.
Now, I think definitely Black has got a nice position to build off, maybe doubling on the c file.
Yes. White wants to block the c pawn by playing knight c2.
Yeah, knight's the best blockader, right?
Yes. Knight can block the pawn and look all over, so that's a good thing about the knight.
So what would you do? Let's say you get to put that knight on c2. Would you maybe divert your play to the king side via the f file?
Possibility, yes, but now with that f5 move, he's just blocked everything. Maybe he should play, but he played knight d. Maybe White should play rook b1 at some point.
Yeah.
But the knight on d5 again, he's quite a strong piece. Like if we can swap it off for the bishop on b5, but the bishop can't get to the knight.
100%. I think White might have to go for some e4 at some moment.
Yes.
But when you do that, you make the d4 pawn a backwards pawn, right?
Yeah, that's another
especially
problem. Can he nag Black with bishop a6, trying to get bishop b7 in? I don't know. Bishop a6 probably just rook c7. That's nothing. And Black on the other hand just pointing out that he can also play on the king side, so he's got White stuck on the queen side, but now he's even threatening to open up stuff on the king side. I think Black is getting everything here.
Yeah. Maybe g4 now I would try as White. After pawn takes knight f2. Yeah.
Pawn takes and then
to get
e4.
the knight in. Yeah.
Maybe even e4 at some point.
Oh, e4 without the knight going to e4, the pawn. Didn't see that. Yes.
But okay, maybe knight f4 then. Okay, so both guys are getting low on time again. Another weakness on h2 for White. White did try that bishop a6, but it just got countered by rook c7. Now he's chasing. Was rook a7 necessary there? I don't know. Black had everything.
I'm of the opinion that White's knight is better than that bishop at the moment.
Yeah, the bishop could end up being just a big defender now. That's why Black is searching for activity on the other side. White picks up the pawn. White again, Daniel has somehow gotten into a very, very interesting position here.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like he was in such a tough position, and all of a sudden, I think he's back in it.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice king maneuver by Henry. King takes d4 coming. No, king takes d4 is not possible because of rook takes f4 check. What's happening here? Rook check.
I think the king must, if he goes rook check again, I think the king must come to f2. Otherwise the king can go to f3.
What will Daniel do? What will Daniel do here? Daniel, okay.
Yeah, I think you have to go to f2.
Yeah, maybe f2. Now the black king will support the pass pawn very nicely.
He's still in it though. It takes, he didn't have the time to go rook d5.
He doesn't have it, yeah. Okay, maybe rook d5, yeah. Was that the last game of the match? Yes, it was. Okay, guys. Can you just unmute? So that was the last game of the match, correct? Yeah, in the 3 minutes and 1 second portion, then Henry, you got 3 wins and a draw, and Daniel, you got that draw in there at least. So yeah, tough match. Especially for Daniel, you had a rough one over there. Do you guys have any comments on the match? Can we start with you? Can we start with you? Sorry?
Are we on the stream now, or are we going to switch to the Zoom call?
No, we can just do this. We're on the stream now, so you can just talk via this. So what's your thoughts on the match, Daniel?
Well, obviously didn't go according to plan.
Yes.
Judging by the scoreline, just too slow. This time it's too slow, but also played too badly to be blundered. And Henry's obviously just far too strong, especially if it's.
Okay, yeah, no, maybe a few things you can take a look at, but I mean, the time management is sometimes difficult to improve majorly in a day or two. So I mean, maybe something to look at for the future. And yeah, but I mean, we've been enjoying your games, Daniel. If I can point out a move that I loved from the tournament from you is that knight to d5 against Sherwin. We were expecting some other moves, and then knight to d5 came crashing down. So we've been entertained and fully enjoyed your game. So thank you very much, and well done on your overall performance. And then Henry, congratulations, you qualify to compete in the finals tomorrow. So what's your comments on the match?
I think maybe my opponents are giving me a little bit too much respect. Yeah, I think Daniel said his strategy before the match is trying to play faster. But yeah, somehow it felt like I was ahead on the clock in much of the game. It didn't have too much pressure. Yeah.
Okay,
and
then
in the last game,
yeah,
like knight f6 with a3, it's just made. Or the queen wins the queen.
Say again, what in the last game?
Yeah, in the last game, knight f6 check, right? Bishop a3.
Knight f6 and bishop a3. Okay, we'll check it out. Okay, thanks. And then just another last thing. I've noticed that you've been playing some interesting, crazy openings, Henry, like a6 and b5 and so on. Are you having fun at the end of it? Would you play these lines if you haven't secured the match yet, or are you having a bit of fun as well in the meantime?
Well, obviously, like, if the match is already over, then there's no real
pressure.
You can just sort of play whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't know what you call a6 b5. Is that the accelerated Owens defense or what?
It's an attempt at an improvement. One of the problems I have, I think, because it's just my openings are pretty bad in any case.
Is that because you don't spend too much time on your openings for now? I mean, you say your openings are bad, but I mean you've been playing. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But,
all right.
I mean, I think I managed to sort of prepare well for the matches at least. I think in this match, the Nimzo Indian, like the line we played in the rapid game, it's also something I looked at this morning.
Yes, and you guys were whipping out the moves. Yeah.
Like King G1 is normal there, but helps obviously if you can get that. And like I said before, the rapid games obviously they count a lot. So if you can win the rapid games or lead there, then it goes a long way towards sort of.
So the prep really counts a lot in that first 2 games. But well done to both of you guys. It has been entertaining. Tough one, Daniel, and well done to Henry. So we will see Henry tomorrow in the final, and we will have to stick around and watch later who's gonna join Henry in the final. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. It was entertaining, and I'll stay in touch with you and talk soon.
Thanks.
All right. Cheers. Right. Okay, everybody. So there we have it. We got a bit of words from the two players. Henry saying there at the end that perhaps, just perhaps, his opponents are giving him a bit too much respect. I think maybe his opponents feeling a bit too much pressure, and when you feel a bit under pressure, then it does tend to not bring out the best in you. So key is to stay calm. We're back in the studio here with Demeter. Demeter, what is your final conclusion on this match here? What can you say? Any thoughts on the match as well? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. It was good. We got to see some good chess. Very impressed with how Henry handled some of the positions. I know he's saying that maybe players give him a lot of respect, but he definitely has some form of presence at the board where he's kind of maybe putting some pressure, making some quick decisions, putting pressure on the clock as well.
Yeah, his time management on the clock was quite impressive, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know, from your experience, Calvin, if you think about blunders, when you've made one or if you've seen someone make one, they usually come from situations that arise from pressure, right?
Yes, definitely. And maybe, I mean, we can spectators can look at the games and say, but these guys are just blundering against Henry. But of course, you need to apply the pressure on your opponent so that they can make the blunders. So I think Henry was excellent with the time and with the moves on the board as well, with just the amount of pressure he's putting on his opponent, forcing them to make errors. So yeah, I think that's also a good point, Demeter.
Yeah.
So any last?
Maybe one more thing.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe one.
Yes.
Yeah, we've spoken about what Henry did well. I think that second last game, I want to give Daniel a bit of credit for how he pulled that back and somehow got that rook in game where that was a drawn rook in game, but he's got the extra pawn in when it was looking quite difficult. I
think Daniel came back nicely there. He actually started getting his footing in the last couple of games. Maybe if he started off the match like that, it would have been much better. So yeah.
All right. Some crazy decisions, yeah. But thank you for having me, Calvin.
Thank you very much, Demeter, for joining us. Former under-20 champion Demeter Ristovic, an excellent chess player. I mean, I've seen him doing wonderful stuff on the chess board. Thank you for joining us and sharing your chess knowledge and just hanging around with us. Hopefully we can get you on the show in the near future. So thank you very much, Demeter. So just to go back to the scoreboard, if we look at the scoreboard, the final score is 11-1 in Henry's favor. So a powerful performance by Black, not by Black, by Henry. And so Henry is now into the finals, and he is just basically gonna sit back and wait and see who's gonna face him. So the next match will be at 5:30. That's in a bit almost an hour, but longer than an hour from now. So don't go away too far, guys. It's gonna be an epic battle. The next match, the last semi-final match, is between International Master Watu Kobese versus International Master David Gluckman. So the winner will also get to face Henry tomorrow in the finals. So if you haven't followed me yet, CKC twitch.tv/Calvin Klaassen Chess, and you can also contact me via calvinklaassen@yahoo.com. And I think that's it for now. We will see you in about an hour's time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Demeter. See you next time.